I just want to start out by, giving Texas a lot of credit. The #1 team in the country, and Sark and what they do, a great team. But I also want to thank the fans. What an unbelievable atmosphere. From, driving in this morning from my house, seeing everybody at game day, at big noon kickoff, seeing people around the stadium, tailgating, and then the atmosphere in the stadium when we came out for warm-ups. I mean, there wasn't very many empty seats. And for a noon kickoff, to have that many people in the stadium was amazing. And so for an atmosphere like that, week one, to bring everybody together was great for our team. And I think it made a huge difference in the fourth quarter. So I want to thank, I say all the time, it takes everybody. And the fans certainly brought it today. And man, I'm just proud of our guys. Just a gritty win to start the season.
All righty, we'll start here in the front row with Tim May. Tim, go ahead
Ryan,
and lead
you
us
said
off.
all week, all that matters is the win, right? And number one, you got that accomplished. Like you said, it was a nitty-gritty game. But number two, how did Julian Sayin handle the pressure? He seemed pretty poised out there.
I agree. I said in the locker room, I thought he handled himself well. I thought he took care of the ball, made some throws when he needed to. A couple times when it wasn't there, he did not force it. Could we have opened it up more in the second half? Yeah, but I thought Brian called an unselfish game. I thought the defense was playing well. When we got the ball back on the 10-yard line there with 8 minutes to go, we ended up running off about 4 minutes off the clock. And we thought that was important. We talked about it this week. In week one, we can't beat ourselves. We wanted to let them beat us. And, for a first-time starter, you just don't want to put them in that situation. So hindsight says we did the right thing, but you're never too sure. But I thought the drive that the offense had there in the first half, I think we ate up over 8 minutes off the clock, which was part of the game plan, because we wanted to keep their offense off the field, and then to finish it with that 4th and 1 was big, and then the play by Carnell. But the story of the game was the defense. Matt, I thought, put a good game plan together. The coaches put a good game plan together, but the grittiness of our guys running around. There's a lot we can build on here, a lot we have to improve on. The team you see right now will not even be close to the team you see halfway through the season or at the end of the year, but it certainly makes the corrections a lot easier to make after a win against a top 5 opponent like this.
We'll go right over here to the right, Spencer Holbrook.
Ryan, I know that you don't look at it in terms of validation, but with Matt and the way that his defense performed today, what were just general thoughts on how great they were? And does it kind of show, kind of made the right move here, bringing Matt in?
Well, we have to prove ourselves every time we're in that arena. So that's just what you do. When you stop feeling like you have to prove yourself, then you stop improving. And so that's the way we feel. But all that being said, I know what kind of a coach Matt is because I see him every day. You guys don't. So that's the thing about football. I share that with the guys. All the work that you put in the dark doesn't come to light until this first game, And that's sometimes a sobering thing about football. You put all this work in just to give you a chance, and then you have X number of plays to go make it happen. But that's what competitive excellence is. And again, a great start. I thought the game plan was excellent, but the buy-in is what's most important. Plays are plays, scheme is scheme. But what matters is the guys and the Warriors on the field, believing in it and the work that's put in. I can't tell you how much time Larry Johnson and James Laurinaitis and Matt and Tim Walton. How about the DBs and Jermaine and IGB making that play down there on the end zone? These guys, they work their tails off to prepare their players and to grade out a champion to do their job. And a lot of guys did their job. Again, was it perfect? No. There's a lot of things that we got to improve on, a ton. But at least we have a starting point.
All right, we're going to go over here to the right for 2 questions. First one to Patrick Murphy and then to Jake Trotter. Patrick, go ahead.
Ryan, you said a couple times there's stuff to improve on. Is one of the higher up things getting the run game going a bit more?
We'll have to look at the film and see. I mean, that's a stout front. There was a lot of guys in there, and when we play them again, I don't think it's going to look the same way. But we were leaning on some of our tight ends in there, and there was some good runs in there. I gotta really look hard now at the film and see. Where things didn't go perfect because, we were pretty tied in on both edges there. And so, those are downhill runs. We're looking to really get physical and push guys around. But I do think that we were getting movement out there. It was not a high-scoring game. I think we had 4 possessions in the first half. When it's time to spread everybody out and air it out, we'll do that and create more space. But this is a team that has great teams, a defense that has great team speed. And so we took that into consideration, putting the game plan together. It certainly wasn't perfect, but it's a start.
Yeah, Ryan, the fourth down stops were a big difference in this game. What does that say about your defense, especially with so many new starters going forward?
Situational football becomes big, and when you're huddling and slowing the game down, sort of like we are, that means the situations become more and more critical. And understanding what that is and spending time on these situations is what we do, and making sure that we're prepared for them. But you got to go do it. And every time you get a fourth down stop, it's like a turnover. So the interception was huge. But when you start getting fourth down stops at midfield, those flip the entire field, and it's like getting a turnover. So how many fourth down stops? Do we have 3? 4. There you go. The one to end the game, but 3 before that's almost 4 turnovers, and that plays into it. And there was that opportunity we had early in the game on that fourth down. And that was the other thing with Julian, early on. I thought he threw some good balls. We actually had a few drops, which is rare around here. And that may have been a different game. You just never know how it starts or how it's going to finish. But yeah, no, those fourth down stops were big.
Okay, we're going to go over here to Austin Ward. Before we do that, we're going to send Carnell Tate and Luke Montgomery to the back. So if you'd like to talk to Carnell and Luke, they'll be in the back. We'll go over here to Austin Ward.
Mentioned the drops, and so Julian's numbers obviously could have looked a little bit different early. I want to pair that with the idea that you said that by the middle of this season that the offense is going to look much different. How much going into this game for Julian's first start, the talent of Texas, how much could you have reasonably put him out there to execute at this point? How much further is there to go? Because I imagine it's quite a lot.
Yeah, a ton. But I thought I was impressed with his poise. He had a good look in his eye, and what he was saying and what he was seeing was exactly what was going on. That's a great sign. I remember CJ's first start. I remember Justin's first start. And when I mean first start, like, in big games. Dwayne, Kyle, Will was different because he'd played a lot of football. But when you have that first start and you're out there, there are so many things to take into consideration. When you're the quarterback at Ohio State and you're playing number 1 Texas against one of the top defenses in the country, which we have a tremendous amount of respect for, like, the one thing we didn't want to do and I didn't want to do was put him in a bad spot. It's just not fair to him. Now, coming out of it, quite honestly, I think he probably could have handled it, but we weren't going to do that because we know it's a long season, and that was the decision that was made, and so we'll go from here.
Okay, we got time for a couple more. We'll go over here to Bill Rabinowitz.
Ryan, this team has said from the start that they were not defending national champions. This was a whole new team.
Yeah.
What kind of a statement do you think you made today?
Well, we said that we want to set the tone. When you start a season, you want to set the tone for the season. And there's a lot of guys who are stepping into roles for the first time ever. And for these guys to step in and really have a great energy about them, I thought they were poised. I thought the moment was not too big for them. And maybe just because of the run that we went on last year and those guys being in those games, or even for the guys who weren't being a part of it, like take a guy like Devin Sanchez who played today. He was with us for those 2 weeks, so he saw what it was like. I don't think those guys batted an eye. Peyton Pierce played well. I got to watch the film and see, but there was good play across the board, and it's a reference point as we move forward for the first game of the year. When I looked at the schedule and I said, okay, you open up with Texas at home with a freshman or with a young quarterback, it was like, okay. It might be nice to have a few non-conference games to lead up to the season, but as we got closer, it was just like, this is actually a great way to start because everyone's got to be on their game. Preseason, as we talked about, July was edgy. August was edgy. We knew we had to bring it this first game, and then I think they fed off the crowd. The crowd was strong today, and so this is their team. This is their story, and here's the first chapter.
Julian didn't have a lot of experience coming in, obviously, but either did Arch, really. How much he looked confused at times. What was the game plan against him?
No, he's going to be a great player and is a great player. We just felt like in week 1 that we didn't want to beat ourselves. So we took that into consideration in everything that we did. And then knowing there's contingency plans in place. I mean, if we were down 2 scores, this call sheet had all kinds of different contingency plans. Well, it's the same thing on defense. And, he is going to be a great quarterback and is a tremendous talent. But, in anybody you play in that first week, you just don't want to beat yourself. And then you go from there. But he made some really good throws there in the fourth quarter, and you can see the talent. But give our defense credit.
All right, we got 2 more over here. First, Stefan, and then to Bill Landis. Stefan, go ahead.
Ryan, what stood out to you about kind of the different ways that Arvell impacted the game specifically, especially there in the first half? And also, do you have an update on Kenyatta Jackson?
Yeah, Kenyatta, I don't think I can come up and say what exactly it was, but they took his helmet away, and, we'll kind of evaluate how that is moving forward, but I don't see it being a long-term injury. For Arvell has a lot of versatility. When you get up on Arvell, you can just see he has all the traits it takes to be a dominant linebacker. And so what I saw out there today was a guy who was running sideline to sideline from the linebacker position at the second level. But then also you saw him at the end when KJ went down, he was playing up front and rushing the passer and putting pressure on the quarterback. So he can do all those things. This is probably the most he's played in a big game like this, and he'll learn a lot from this. We'll see how he grades out.
All right, wrap it up with Bill Landis.
What you're talking about with the offensive game plan, playing slower, playing a little ball control, it feels like the trade-off there needs to be confidence in your defense to stand up in a game when 2 touchdowns gives you the win. What gave you that confidence that the defense was going to be able to do that today?
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I played this game out in my head every day for the last 3 months. And I didn't know how it was going to go, because when you're going against yourself every day and you have inexperienced players that haven't actually done it on the field, you're not sure. I had an idea how it looked, but I wasn't sure. So what I was trying to do early in the game was get a feel for what was going on. How was our defense holding up front? What kind of rhythm were they in? How fast were they playing? What did we look like in terms of the front on offense? Were we moving the line of scrimmage? How were the running backs running? Brand new running backs. Were they taking care of the football? How was Julian handling it? What were they doing on defense? And then as the first quarter kind of went on, I could see us, getting off the field on defense. I felt like we were moving the line of scrimmage. We had that big drive. We did get, screwed down inside the 10-yard line early on, and you could see we decided at one point to take a play-action shot, which almost turned into a disaster. But other than that, we were fairly conservative because we felt like our defense was playing well, and that was the. I will say this: at halftime, up 7, coming out, I thought we could go and really flip the scoreboard. We didn't do that. And then as that third quarter wore down, it was like, okay, I feel like our defense can hang in there as long as we don't give them anything cheap on offense. So that's how we played this game. We'll see how the next one goes.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Yep.
That stays on. It's just, I guess opening statement for me would be just so proud of the players. Give all the credit to them. They're the ones that went out there and played really fast, really aggressive. Thought they tried to do everything we asked them to do. They were in some tough spots. It's a really good Texas team. Arch is a great quarterback. So coming out of the gate, not really knowing what that was going to look like, that was really difficult. But I'm proud of our guys for stepping up to that challenge. And, all the way across the board from the front end to the back end, I think those guys just did a tremendous job with the adjustments and we were moving a lot of different parts on them. So it was really, really great effort by the players.
Yeah. Matt over here. The first day we ever talked to you, I think one of the first things you talked about was the linebackers that you had here, the guys that you've had that look like what you've had in New England before. To see those guys running around in game action for the first time, what were your thoughts on seeing that?
They're big and they're fast and they can cover a lot of space. So that's a lot of fun. I think those guys, Sonny, Arvell, Peyton, all those guys when they were out there, just their ability to kind of move in space and play the game, with the speed that Texas has. Texas is a fast team. They really do a great job. Sark does a great job of just spreading you horizontally and then the vertical shots. But those guys, it's fun. Those guys are fun football players to be around, from the linebacker core. So Coach Lorenzo does a tremendous job with them. So it was good. It's great to see him in live action.
All right, Cameron Teague Robinson.
And Matt, it looked like you guys, disguised and did a lot of things both up front and in the secondary. When you got here and you saw the tools you had on defense, how much did that excite you knowing that you didn't have to stick to one specific scheme. You can kind of do a lot of different things with what this group can do.
Yeah, I mean, give credit to the coaches. I mean, those guys, Coach Wall, Coach Johnson, Coach G, all those guys, Coach, Laurinaitis, they just really, we spent the spring kind of evaluating what do we have. We got a lot of young guys. They haven't played a lot of football. So just what do they do well? How do we put them in position to play fast, play aggressive? And I thought the coaches did a great job of that. And being able to move the defense in those pieces because we know what the skill set of the players that we have are different than maybe what we had last year. And, the coaches that were familiar with these guys on the staff, I think the defensive staff just, give them credit for really being able to put that together like that. It was a great job by them.
Spencer?
Matt, I don't know if you saw the reaction when you were hired here. Largely negative from a lot of folks. How has that felt all offseason, kind of knowing what you were brewing in the background and to be able to unveil it with the red carpet kind of like this?
Yeah.
How's that feel for you personally right now?
Honestly, Columbus is great. Everyone's been so nice. I'm Northeast Italian, so I'm kind of always a little bit skeptical, but everyone's just so welcoming and kind. I've really just felt nothing but appreciation and love from everybody. So I'm so thankful to the Buckeye fans. Everyone, like I said, has been great. The players are great. School. So, I don't know. I'm trying to hopefully do a good job at impacting young men and mentoring and teaching and coaching a game that I love. So that's really what I'm trying to do. So hopefully, got a little bit of that done today.
We're going to go over to the left, Bill Rabinowitz, and then over here to Brendan Gulick. Bill, go ahead.
Matt, you haven't coached in college in 2 decades almost. What was it like for you to coach, especially have an opener against Texas, and kind of what Spencer was alluding to, the pressure that was on you replaced the guy who won a national championship?
Yeah. Always appreciative of my situation. Always glad to be out there to be able to coach and coach great players here at Ohio State. The thing about college, again, I think I mentioned this during camp, I think I really appreciate those preseason games now. I really do, because there's definitely things in the game today. It's like operationally, communication-wise, and all that stuff. And, the sideline gets a little nuts. There's a lot of players out there. It's not the, 40-some that are in an NFL active roster. So, but like I said, just a great environment. It's loud, man. This place is loud. I love it. I absolutely love it. The fans. You don't get that kind of noise in an NFL game. So I'm super appreciative of that. I'm going to play home every game. If we can figure that out, that'd be great. I'd be really excited about that. So.
All right, last question over here to Brendan.
Matt, you've got a group that obviously is coming off a good season, and they don't have a ton of tape on this specific Texas team. And so the idea going in is play with confidence, play with speed. Specifically in the secondary, how did you feel that McClain and Downs in particular played with that in mind?
Yeah, I think everyone back there played really fast and really aggressive. I thought the communication was really good. Caleb's unbelievable back there as a field general, just kind of making sure he's calling out the coverages or the adjustments or even some of the alerts, that we have in those situations. And Jalen did a great job too. So that part was great, to be able to see that in game action and kind of put that under our belt and improve on it as we go was really good. But I think everyone, Jermaine obviously had a great game. IGB, those guys played, and Zoe, Lorenzo, he played really, really well back there. That's a great group, and they work really hard. Coach Walt does an unbelievable job with those guys, developing them and instilling the confidence in them. So it was fun to watch them in game speed. Like I said, Texas is fast, so they can move downfield pretty quick, and to watch our guys run with that sort of speed was really good.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
it.
a lot. I appreciate everybody.
And we'll bring it.
Joined by Brandon Inniss. And Brandon, first game out there starting with the Buckeyes, #1 team in the country. What was that atmosphere like?
It was electric, man. The fans did what we needed them to do. They made it hard for them. I don't know how many false starts they had, but it was enough. We got a W.
What was it like for you being out there with Julian? Things really seemed to click early in this game.
Yeah, it just goes back to our preparation. We was prepared well. Our practice during the week, and I knew Julian was going to do it. I knew the whole time he's going to be a great quarterback for us, and I'm excited for the rest of the season.
For you personally, what was it like to be out there as a captain, walking to center field, knowing all you poured into this program?
It felt amazing, man. I was just embracing that moment, taking it all in, and it felt amazing. Can't wait to do it some more.
Can't wait to do it some more. What do you think your biggest takeaway being out there now, getting that first win under your belt is?
I feel like just go out there and be me now. Go out there and be me. Got one under the belt, and now we're going to roll now.
And then your style of leadership, real quick, what do you think that is? I always see you're the first guy to celebrate on a team with the players. What is your style of leadership behind the scenes?
I would say I'm just a outspoken guy, just letting everybody, feel comfortable to be around me, talk to me and stuff like that. And I just build relationships that way. And then when I build relationships like that, I just become more comfortable with everybody, and then we celebrating our games and stuff like that.
What was that locker room like?
Electric, man, electric. We can't wait to have some more lockers like that.
Appreciate it, Brandon.
Thank you.
Well, Carnell, how much fun was it out there? You guys just beat the #1 ranked team in the country, 14-7.
It was every bit of fun to beat the #1 team in the country and also just go win in general to start the season off well.
You had that big catch in the end zone from Julian. First of all, let's talk about this young man. 19-year-old kid making his first start at quarterback against the #1 ranked team in the country. I thought he showed great poise. And then you get that grab in the end zone for the touchdown. Take us through that play.
I knew it was a double move off the line, so I knew I got pressed. I knew the ball was coming to me regardless of what happened. And Julian, I love Julian. He's a great kid. He managed the game really well, top 3 matchup, and go out there win a game against the top 3 team in your very first start. I mean, you can't say nothing bad about him.
Give the fans an idea of what this kid's about. I mean, he seems quiet, and but what's he like on the field? What kind of competitor?
Julian's very well competitive. He's not the most vocal person out there, but we know Julian. We ain't got to worry about Julian. He's always ready.
The defense, man, I tell you what, I thought the defense. Usually, this early defense has an advantage, but you glad you got the silver bullets on your side?
Oh my God, I'm glad they played very great defense today, and they're the reason we won the game. Without them, we don't win the game. They managed to hold them to 7 points, and we depended on them all game. And we couldn't go out there and score points.
The other thing I want to talk about is the toughness this team showed. I know people have taken shots in the past about this isn't a tough team. That was all grit and toughness, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, our team's very tough. We know we got to be out there. We got to be the toughest team on the field, and each game the toughest team will win.
They say the most improvement is from week 1 to week 2, Grambling next week. What needs to get better?
The offense got to be better. We got to go out there and put up more points. We got to go capitalize on our drives.
Do me a favor. Look at that camera. Your message for Buckeye Nation.
We're going to need you each and every week out here at home. That should make it the #1 hostile environment in the area.
Well, I got to ask you, Julian, how does it feel? You're 1-0. At first, by the way, you make your first start. No, by the way, it's against the #1 ranked team in the country. And I was so impressed with the poise you showed out there.
Yeah, it was an awesome atmosphere. Big credit to the defense. They played really well. Offensive line played really well, gave me a lot of time, and then running backs ran hard, receivers caught the ball. So it was a full team effort, and really proud of the group.
How much fun was it out there for you?
Oh, a ton of fun. Just being out of the first game. So much energy in the stadium. It was awesome.
You get that first pass. And boy, you threw some pretty balls today.
Thank you. Yeah. The first pass, just kind of get the nerves out of the system and go play.
How about the first big touchdown over the middle to Carnell?
Yeah, Carnell Tate, great catch by him. He kind of made me right. Not a perfect ball. He made me right and made the great play. So.
They say the game slows down eventually. Did it slow down at all today, or your head still spinning a little?
Yeah, I think my coaches prepared me well, and I was able to see the looks out there that we've been preparing for. So it definitely was good.
Best thing about 1-0, the chance to go 2-0 next week, Grambling. And, the old saying is you make the most improvement from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, definitely on the next week. We still have stuff to clean up, and, we're just going to focus on next week and get prepared for the next game.
Congratulations. Your message for Buckeye Nation.
Go Bucks.
With the running back, a dynamic duo, James and CJ. I'll tell you what. I don't ever want to hear that Ohio State's not tough. That was we witnessed toughness in this.
Yes, sir. No doubt, man. O-line, they did their job, giving us great movement. Tight end receivers, they were blocking downfield, and me, James, and the quarterback, did a great job, finishing runs.
How much fun was it out there? Did you guys feel like you got it going?
Yeah, I feel like we had it going. From us just running the ball, doing our assignment, and the guys up front, of course, doing their assignment. We executed. We did what we needed to do. It was tough sledding today, but we got the job done.
And 14-7, I mean, if I would have told you before the game we could have been talking about a shutout, what would you have said to me?
I would have said, honestly, I don't know how it's going to go. We're just going to go out here and we're going to, whatever the outcome is at the end of the game is the outcome. So, yeah.
How pumped for the defense were you?
Man, no doubt, man. They definitely did their job. Us going against that defense all year in camp, finally got a chance, to see somebody else go against that defense, see how it feels for us, like how we be out there, struggling, like trying to figure out what our defense doing. Coach Patricia, the defense, they do a great job, disguising things, sending simulated pressure and things like that. you know, and we have a great leader, you know, on the defensive side of the ball, Sonny and Caleb. You know, they do a great job of, you know, leading that defense. So I'm just very excited. You know, I'm proud of them guys.
All right, guys, great stuff. 1-0. The best thing about 1-0.
Go 2-0.
There you go. You got it. All right, fellas. Thanks. Sonny, congratulations, 1-0. And, you know, I don't know that I would have been thinking that we were going to see a shutout. You guys were this close.
Yeah, man, it was a tough one. I think both sides of the ball, we fought all the way to the last quarter. That's a really good football team. And, it's a good win for us to get our confidence, but we got to keep getting better.
How about the Matt Patricia era now, the debut? What kind of statement did you guys send to the country?
Yeah, I mean, I think Coach Patricia is a very talented caller, and I think the biggest thing is he puts belief in us. And you know, he's a coach we really want to play for. Go play hard for him. He puts us in position to make plays, so it's just going to keep getting better.
There's some smash mouth football out there today, and anyone that questions the toughness, that was all toughness out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a gritty game. You know, we came into the game with no expectations, just find a way to win, and that's what happened today.
You know, you look at what you guys were able to do on defense to keep them out of the end zone. They're going to have nightmares because the last two games you guys played, you've kind of frustrated. Just how much fun is that to be able to keep them out?
Yeah, I think that's just a mindset of the Ohio State Buckeyes when it comes to defense. You know, we always say, give us an inch, we'll defend it. So you get down to that red zone, they start getting close. You know, that's when we put our best ball. So that's what we did out there today.
You know, the old saying is you make the most improvement from week 1 to week 2. What do you guys need to do better?
Oh man, there's so much stuff to get better at. Communication, had a few enemies out there. You know, guys being in the right spots, making sure we're all on the same page. So just a lot to improve on. But you know, we got the win, and that's what we wanted. So just gonna keep getting better.
How about the atmosphere in this place? I know it was a noon kick you were hoping for night, but that was crazy.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think Buckeye Nation, they made it hard for them, and it really helped us in this game.
How much fun was it for you to be out there in that zero jersey? And you know, I know it's all kind of sinking in. This was your last home opener.
So it was an honor, man. You know, it was surreal putting that jersey on over the pad, seeing the zero, and I actually got to see Cody out there today, man. So it's just awesome. Just gonna keep trying to put on and represent the number well.
Last thing, let's talk about the other side of the ball, Julian Sayin. And I said that this young man showed so much poise to me today. I mean, I can't imagine 19-year-old kid making his first start in this. Thank God it was here, but against the #1 team, and that's a good defense.
I mean, he was unbelievable today. Great decisions, quick decisions. He took care of the ball. Like you said, he was so poised, cool, calm, collected back there. And I think the whole team, we're super proud of him, man. And he's just going to keep getting better. He's a young quarterback, first start against the #1 team, like you said. He's playing on the biggest stage, and he did his job. He helped us win today.
Do me a favor, look at that camera and your message for Buckeye Nation.
Man, I was going to say, man, shout out to you guys for really bringing it today. You guys helped us get the win today. And this is only the start. We're going to keep getting better. Go Bucks.